If you like a helmet just like this, go over to greengrind.com and shop some of your favorite mini and life-size replica helmets. They have, you can add, of course, the visor, the chin strap, different helmet types as well. On the website, they have NCAA teams, they have all the NFL teams. You can go in there and shop some of your favorite sports football teams and get a helmet replica just like this. So go over there, use my promo code PITSYN at checkout as well, PITSYN, and get yourself a discount at checkout. So go over there and shop now. My viewers, welcome back to the channel, and by the video title you know what this video is about. We have another receiver prospect for the Steelers. I think this guy right here would be a nice piece, and he's probably a guy you will not find maybe in the first round, maybe not second round, maybe third, maybe fourth round, like fourth round type guy. You know, I think he's a guy who's a sleeper in this draft, and his name is Xavier Henderson. Cincinnati receiver. I discussed him on my channel before while I was doing the in-season draft stuff. I was discussing players who are sleepers in this draft. He's 6'3". He ran a 4.4. He has good hands, of course. You know, 200-pound receiver, so he's a big body receiver. Not use his hands as well and make plays, of course, as well. Physical, and he's one of those guys who a chain mover. Watching for him, I was seeing a lot of things. He worked in the middle part of the field. The Steelers have struggled and used the middle part of the field for the past few years. I think he's a guy who can come in and help out a lot in that department. Now, this is kind of like if the Steelers probably take a guy in the free agency. They go out there and sign free agent receivers. I think you can go like a later round, maybe add a guy like this to your team. But he's a guy who not use the middle part of the field. He know how to find a soft spot in the zones, and QB friendly type guys. You know, guys who are just have good IQ. He might not have the flashy numbers. 700 yards is still pretty good for him like that. Has some good numbers like that and 4 touchdowns. But he's one of those QB friendly type type guys to play with. When the QB is under duress, he'll find the quarterback. He'll sit in the soft zone. He'll get back to his quarterback, and he'll make contested catches. He'll make consistent catches over and over to move the sticks. He's one of those type of guys like that. So just having him on the team will be nice just to bring in. I think the Steelers been missing that a little bit. A guy who consistently just making plays for you, being a safety blanket for the quarterback. So having a guy Xavier Henderson who's 6'3", who run a 4.4. Physical as well, to have him would be cool. Now, he might not be the most explosive player like in the open space when the ball is in his hands to go out there and mix and match and make things happen, but he's a guy who can move the sticks and be consistent, making contested catches for you, and see doing those things over and over and over and over and making things happen. So I think if he's available, you go out there and get him. I think the idea will be for the Steelers to bring in a veteran receiver, like, of course, like I mentioned Chris Godwin on this channel many times. I will hope in a perfect world the Steelers can bring in Chris Godwin, and you bring Darius Slayton in. Both. Chris Godwin and Darius Slayton. Bring both of them in, and then also draft a receiver maybe later rounds. I think that'd be very cool to add just more depth to the receiver room, and also be cool just to have, you know, more weapons around. And you have those veteran guys to maybe teach some of those young guys and have certain ways and certain aspects you can like learn from them, because Chris Godwin's a former All-Pro and a Super Bowl champion, a multi-time Pro Bowler as well. He's a very good receiver in this league. And then you look at Darius Slayton, he might not be a Pro Bowler or former All-Pro, but he's still very consistent and a pretty solid receiver, and had a pretty good career so far with the Giants like that. So adding them to our team will help out a lot. And maybe you get a guy like I mentioned, Xavier Henderson in this video. Here's Xavier Henderson. You bring him in as another guy you come in and draft it with, and you have, of course, Pickens, Slayton, Godwin, maybe Henderson with Calvin Austin, mixing up like that a little bit. Roman Wilson, we'll see exactly where he lies and how he'll be when he gets back. But I want to see the Steelers go out there and get some big receivers. I think Xavier Henderson will be a nice guy. And maybe later round you can find probably like in the 4th round, be a sleeper pick to bring on and add more size to that receiver room, because last year we struggled with that. Guys who be consistently get down the field and make plays, guys who consistently get open in the middle of the field and create mismatches. Having a guy like George Pickens on one side who's 6'2", and then Xavier Henderson, you have him, and then whoever you go out there and sign would be very cool to add more versatility to the room, more physicality to the room. And this is a physical pass catcher who's not afraid to be to get in physical contact with the cornerback and make the contested catches. So I think Xavier Henderson would be a nice addition, receiver from Cincinnati. Go watch his stuff, and go see his highlights, his film, and go watch a full game of him as well. They have him all around everywhere. Go watch his full games and stuff, and you'll see how he plays. He plays very smooth like that. He kind of reminds me, I would say, reminds me a little bit like a Jarvis Landry type. You know Jarvis Landry, you watch Jarvis Landry early on in the league, you know, like a bigger Jarvis Landry type guy. You know, a guy who might not be the most flashiest with some of his stuff like running at the catch and doing the crazy things, but a guy who consistently be there, who will have a lot of receptions. Might not have like 1,600 yards, but he'll probably have 1,000. But he also have 112 catches. Like one of those guys who you can consistently rely on and be a safety blanket for your QB. I think he's kind of one of those type of individuals, and the Steelers been missing that quite some time. So I think adding a guy like that would be very cool. We used to have Juju Smith-Schuster. He was kind of like in that department for us, but we kind of got rid of him, and we have never really found anybody kind of like that. So Go out there and get you a consistent guy who consistently there. A lot of teams have those guys, the guys who always find a way to be a safety blanket, always find a way to be open and to be consistent for your team. So get him, bring him in. If you do the approach of answering your questions in the off season with the free agency stuff, if you do that, then you'll see a guy like this, maybe later round, maybe third round, maybe late third round, maybe fourth round, something like that. Around this range, you'll find a guy you can probably bring in as well to add more depth to the receiver room. Is to add more playmakers. That one thing we struggle with, playmakers. Look at some of the best teams around the league. What they have a repertoire and an arsenal of receivers. No pun intended. No arsenal of receivers. Going out there, they have all type of individuals out there. You know, they have guys who are 6'3", 6'4". They have speedster guys who run 4'3", 4'2". Some of the big tall guys run 4'3", so they have like all these different weapons. You're looking at some of the top teams, you're like, they got a lot of guys. I look at the Chiefs, they got Smith-Schuster, they got DeAndre Hopkins out there, they got Marquise Brown as well. They got all type of versatility out there in the receiver room. And you look at the Eagles. The Eagles got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, two top guys who could be number one receivers on many teams around the league. So they had the individuals out there, and you add with the quarterback play, and you add with Barkley and stuff, and you add with Dallas Goedert. So teams with a powerful offense. Of course, defense is good. The Steelers had a defensive part down. But can you add some weapons out there on the outside where you can be able to compete at the high level with some of those guys? So you need to go out there and start drafting those receivers. Go out there and start signing those receivers and bringing guys in who are kind of going to add different versatility to your receiver room. I think Xavier Henderson could be a guy like that if you go the route of signing the free agents and then maybe drafting a receiver later around, then you'll probably get to that point. But that's all I have for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.